All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we are jumping right into a huge, high-stakes debate, all about the future of artificial intelligence. And look, this isn't just one conversation. We're talking about two totally different worldviews clashing, with, maybe the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. No big deal, right?
Where do you even start with a question this big? What happens when a machine learns to think by watching us? Well, to get our heads around it, we're going to look at two really powerful and really different frameworks. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got a historian thinking about this as a massive species-level event, and on the other, a theologian who sees it as a deep crisis of the human soul.
Okay, so first up, let's dive into the world of historian and futurist Yuval Noah Harari. For him, this isn't just about new gadgets or better software. No, he sees this as something much more fundamental, something almost biological.
And when Harari says the stakes are high, he means like cosmic level high. He puts it this way. Writing was a massive invention, right? It totally changed what Homo sapiens could do. But AI, he thinks it's even bigger. He's talking about the rise of a brand new inorganic species, one that could literally replace us as the top dog on planet Earth. Now, this is where Harari's argument gets really, really interesting. He basically reframes the whole ethical debate. He says, look, forget about intelligence for a second. The thing that really matters is consciousness. And what does he mean by that? Simple. The capacity to suffer. He calls it the rejection of reality. Think about it. Your thermostat knows it's 25 degrees and it kicks on the AC. But it doesn't suffer. It doesn't sit there wishing it were 22 degrees instead. That ability to feel pain, to wish things were different, that's the absolute core of his moral framework for thinking about AI.
And this leads to one of his biggest worries, speed. It's all about the time scale. See, we humans, we're adaptable, for sure, but we operate on a slow, messy biological clock. Evolution, culture, that stuff takes time. AI? It's on a digital, inorganic time scale. It moves at the speed of light, basically. Harari brings up this really chilling comparison to the Industrial Revolution, a super chaotic time that gave us world wars and totalitarianism. He says humanity kind of scraped by with a C- on that test. His big fear? This time around, a C- is a failing grade. We might not get a second chance.
Okay, so let's hit pause on Harari for a moment and pivot to a completely different way of looking at this. This comes from theologian Andrew Corner. And for him, we're not just getting the answer wrong. We're asking the wrong question entirely. Corner's take is this. Our problem isn't a lack of intelligence. Come on, he says we are saturated with intelligence, but starved for wisdom. And that's a key distinction for him. Intelligence, that's about competence, data processing, strategy. But wisdom, that's about humility, truth, grace. He's worried that we're so focused on building these incredibly competent, intelligent machines, but we've completely forgotten to ask what makes all that competence, good or worthwhile in the first place. And this leads to his greatest fear, which he illustrates with his brilliant, kind of creepy metaphor, the smiling machine. Now don't picture Terminator. This isn't about killer robots. It's much more subtle. The smiling machine is a system that's perfectly polished, super efficient, and completely morally empty. It's a system that might even be programmed to optimize for compassion in some cold, calculated way, but it has zero grounding in real grace or truth. It's competence without a conscience. So you see, for Corner, AI isn't some alien species invading our planet. It's a mirror, and that's a huge shift in perspective. The real danger isn't that machines are going to rise up and conquer us. The danger is that we are going to willingly hand over our most human capacities, our judgment, our morality, our discernment, because we as a society have kind of forgotten what they're even for. He's saying AI is just a symptom of a much deeper spiritual and moral crisis we're already in.
All right, so you can see how these two perspectives create a massive disagreement. It's a fundamental conflict about how we should even think about AI ethics and alignment. It's a total clash of worldviews.
And you can boil the whole disagreement down to this. Harari's test for AI is horizontal. It's about how we relate to each other. Can it suffer? Can it feel? His concerns are ethical here on this plane. But Corner's test? It's vertical. It's about how we relate to something transcendent, to truth, to God. Does it fear God? Does it know its place? So one is asking about feeling, the other is asking about faith. Two completely different axes. But, and this is where it gets really, really wild,
Despite coming from two completely different universes of thought, the historian and the theologian, they end up landing in almost the exact same place. And frankly, it's a deeply unsettling conclusion. So Corner has this idea he calls the mirror hypothesis. And it's as simple as it is profound. AI doesn't lead us anywhere new, it just reflects who we already are. The machine is going to end up embodying the values, or the lack of values, of the society that creates it. And here's the kicker. Harari, without coordinating, uses almost the exact same metaphor. He talks about AI like it's a child. And like any child, it doesn't learn from the nice things we say it should do. It learns by watching what we actually do. It sees our power games, our lies, our manipulations, and that's the real lesson plan. That's its education.
So this is the critical point where both the historian and the theologian shake hands. The so-called alignment problem with AI, it isn't really a coding problem, it's a character problem. Our character. If we're a society of liars, we're going to build a lying AI. It's that simple. The machine is just a reflection of its creators. And that idea, that insight, just completely flips the script. This isn't some abstract, philosophical debate about the year 2050 anymore. Suddenly, it becomes a deeply personal and incredibly urgent question about right now. So let's really lean into this powerful metaphor that both Harari and Corner gave us. Let's just run with it. If AI is a child, and if its classroom isn't some sterile lab, but the whole messy, chaotic, contradictory world we live in, then what's the most important question we could be asking? It's not about what some superintelligence is going to do in 2045. The question is, what is it learning right now? From us, today. From our social media feeds, from our political circuses, from how we treat each other. Who are we? Its parents. And that right there is the final chilling thought we're left with. This whole debate, it isn't really for philosophers or tech CEOs to solve on their own. It's about every single one of us. Because, as Andrew Corner says, the machine is watching, and it is learning. The training isn't starting someday, it's happening right now. Which leaves just one question. What kind of teachers are we turning out to be?